G'day, it's Shane here from Lonely Grape TV, and thank you for joining me in my home bar. But more importantly, thank you for helping me bring McLaren Vale wine to the world. Now today, this episode's very, very special for me, for three reasons. Number one is, this is my 100th episode of Lonely Grape TV. When I started this, there was no way that no way in the world I would have thought I'd get to 100 or more of these episodes. And interestingly enough, I was at a cellar door even yesterday. Somebody came up to me and said, "Hello, is your name Shane Barker?" And I found out it was a follower of mine from Sydney who was here and wanted to saw me at the cellar door and wanted to come up and say g'day. I was absolutely rapt by that. The second reason is, and you may have already noticed, I'm trying a different format for these movies. I'm going to be playing around with this format in early 2012, and I'll be interested to see where this goes. So I'm very excited about trying this new format and bringing something different for you. And number three is the wine. This wine here is a wine that I've been associated with. Now, how you might say that? For those who are not aware, I did the 2009 vintage and worked through for about nearly 18 months for Fox Creek Wines, working as their lab technician. So the 2009 vintage, I had an absolute ball, had a great time, learnt more than I would care to talk about in the time frame we have right now. But yeah, did actually enjoy it so much. And out of that, I was at Fox Creek not that long ago, and see that the 2009, some of the 2009 wines are out for sale. So today we have a bottle of the 2009 Short Row Shiraz. Why is it called Short Row? Well, just outside the cellar door there is a series of a vineyard with a series of rows that are in a different direction to all the rest of the vineyards around that particular vineyard. Now, because of that change in orientation and the size of the land that it's on, those rows are much, much shorter than all the rows in the vineyards around it. So that's where Short Row comes from. Now, I had an absolute pleasure checking out the grapes as they came into the winery, doing analysis on the wine as it was fermenting, and then analysing the wine and making sure everything was where it needed to be in the ensuing time with while it was in the barrel. Had a wonderful time actually just looking and comparing on the flavours from the grapes and how that wine came out at the end. Now, I wasn't there to do the work on the end before bottling, but Yolanda, who took over for me, and a big g'day to Yolanda, I'm sure the wine has been in good hands. And while I'm saying a big g'day to people, it's a big g'day to the Fox Creek crew. I hope they get a chance to have a look at this. The Fox Creek crew had an absolute ball there. Most of the people that I worked with or associated with Fox Creek are still there, and I'd like to say thanks for the time that I was there, and I'm sure there'll be many, many more associations in the coming time. Anyway, enough of me blabbering on about me. Let's blabber on about the wine. So, the Fox Creek Row 2009 Short Row Shiraz. Actually, I see on the label, before I get into it, that it won in 2011. It won a gold at the International Wine Challenge in Vienna. Quite a prestigious event, and quite a prestigious gold medal to have won. Now, I'm already getting aromas lifting off this wine, and this wine's been open maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, and I already know that there's some changes happening in the aromas already. Now, there's dark fruits here, so the plums you would expect, and that's typical McLaren Vale plum for Shiraz. I'm getting a little bit of violets, maybe a little bit of black fruit coming through there as well, some black cherries, maybe some blackberry as well. Right, but the violets really make it interesting. Now, for me, the oak here, it's showing that it's got some American oak and some French oak. The American oak is coming through with a little bit of coconuttiness coming through and there's cedar characters coming through from the French oak. Now there's big debates going on about French, American oak, what's best and what should we do, and you know, oh, the American oak is too big, and etc, etc. I actually think the way wine's been selling, that there is room for all of these styles, and we should make room for all of these styles. What we really don't want to see is what Gary Vaynerchuk would say is the big oak monster, you know, come in here and attack the senses with this big American oak. But I'm not getting any of that here. Yes, there's some American oak, but it's not the big oak monster by any stretch of the imagination. Now, historically, a short roast Shiraz has been around 15% alcohol. The label says 14.5. I suspect it's a little bit more than that. However, I'm not getting any tingle on the nose. If it was really high in alcohol, I normally get a bit of a tingle on the nose. And the fruit character is certainly carrying off the alcohol that's in this wine. So in other words, all these different things that I've talked about all add up to complexity that I'm getting in this wonderful wine. Let's continue with the wanky thing. Now it's interesting, there's actually some layers of fruits coming through. You get some nice plum to start with. You get that coconuttiness coming through very quickly after that. Then there's that generous mid-palate that is really, really McLaren Vale red. Sorry, I shouldn't say any, that's a generalisation. Most McLaren Vale reds has a very generous mid-palate. There's plenty there to savour, and this is quite savoury. And then at the end, you get just that little bit, those black fruits that I was talking about near the back of the palate, and then there's some lovely, lovely oak character coming through. It's not bitter, but there's certainly those tannins that one would expect. Now, what I get from all that is that this is a wine that's going to hang around for a while, and I suspect if one was to keep this wine for 3 to 5 years, this wine would be an absolute doozy. It's wonderful to drink now, but a little bit of time for those things to mellow just a little bit more in the bottle, and I think this will be a wine that you will just enjoy many, many times over. Unfortunately, I've opened this bottle now, so I've got to drink it, so I can't put this bottle aside, but I will have some bottles to put aside and see how it goes over the next few years. I mean, I've got to. I was associated with the wine, wasn't I? Now, in terms of food, sure, it's an easy pick. A nice big lump of steak. But look, you don't have to go always traditionally down that path. I think this would go well with nearly any red meat anywhere at any time. So whether it's a barbecue, the old sausages, chops and things like that on a barbecue. I think your typical casseroles, your osso bucos, any of those sort of things with layers of flavour in that regard would complement the layers of flavour in this wine quite nicely. Look, that's all the time I have today for Lonely Grape TV. Thank you absolutely so much for sharing this 100th episode of Lonely Grape TV, and thank you for being on this journey. It's been a wonderful ride so far, quite a few more of these to go. Alright, so have a great time, and look, it's my first episode of 2012, and I wish you all the best. Nothing but happiness in 2012. Alright, so let's do this together, and let's have a great time. So thank you very much. Bye.